Hey, I want to thank you for joining us on this edition of Polk Place. And it's been a while since she's been in, but that doesn't mean that we don't miss her when she's not in. I want to introduce you to Angie Ellison with InnerAct Alliance. 25 years on the job. Congratulations.
I know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Yeah. So how's it going?
It's going great.
Yeah.
Super busy, but good.
You know what I really like is within the community, you guys have a strong presence. For those that might not know, could you explain to us a little bit about InnerAct Alliance? What exactly is it?
Sure. We're basically a one-stop shop for prevention. We want kids especially, but families and adults, to avoid the pitfalls of addiction to anything, whether it be substances or other kinds of behavior that would impede their path to success and enjoyment in life.
I saw some numbers recently, and you guys put together an incredible video. We'll see it at the end of this. Talk about the success of the program, because each year the numbers go down in those youth experimenting with drugs, with alcohol, with bad choices. Talk a little bit about that and how you guys help prevent that.
Well, one of the main things we do is weave the message of what we call social norming in everything, because most kids and a lot of adults think that most kids use, when the truth is most do not. So if you are a teen and you're trying to fit in, you already fit into your peer group if you don't experiment and engage. So we try to get that message as prevalent as we can in the school system, in the community, for both parents and kids, so that they can avoid those pitfalls from the very beginning, because the earlier you start, due to the wiring of a teenage brain, the more likely you are to be addicted down the road.
And you talk about the importance of the peer-to-peer counseling, which is something that you guys believe in greatly, because it's one thing for an adult to stand above a child and say, don't. But when you have that peer 3 to 4 years older than you or the same age, talk a little bit about that, if you would, please.
The best way that we deliver messages is through our Youth Impact Leadership Program. So our kids are from every high school in the county. They come and they go through a leadership program similar to Leadership Polk, and learn about their community. And then they go on to executive committees or committee chairmen, where they are designing and implementing messages to their peers. And they do that in a myriad of ways, by giving away prom wear and homecoming wear, which we'll talk about in a minute, as well as going in and doing that social norms marketing in their cafeterias, in their schools. We just really weave it through everything. Our Red Ribbon Run every year. Now we have adult staff, teachers that are standing beside them and guiding, but when a teen talks to another teen or to a middle school 5th grade child, they are so much more likely to listen and take in what's being told to them.
Say there's a teacher, or maybe even a parent that has a student that might be great for the program and part of your youth program. How would they get them involved?
They can apply online, or they can get the application online on our website at InnerActAlliance.org, and that happens in January. They turn in their applications by March-ish. Right now, our class number 15, I can't believe we've been doing it 15 years, is selecting class 16. So it's very youth-driven and adult-guided.
Being a nonprofit such as where you are, talk a little bit about how you raise funds to help the children make good choices.
Well, that's a difficult situation right now. We have, in all funding, there's peaks and valleys. So we're in a valley right now. So we try everything that we can. We go to private foundations, we go to individuals. We have some state and federal funds, but we really are working really hard right now to try to sustain everything that we have and eventually grow. We know during these valleys, we just kind of sustain.
Yeah.
And that's the life of a nonprofit, unfortunately, but that's how we do it.
You mentioned some of the programs. I think my first contact with you was the Red Ribbon Run. I want to say is that usually October?
It is.
Is that when that goes down?
It's actually on Halloween this year.
Yeah.
And it's going to be in its 37th or 38th year.
Well, talk a little bit about that and the origins of it, because that goes, man, that goes back to my early days here.
It does. It goes way back, and it actually started in California when a interdiction officer was killed by a Mexican cartel. And they started the Red Ribbon campaign of, let's prevent so that we can get away from use and abuse and all of the mayhem that happens with not only individuals in drug use, but families and whole communities who lose people like this gentleman that they lost. So we started ours as a walk 40 years ago, and then it turned into a run about 37 years ago, and we have about 1,500 kindergarten through 5th grade students who run a 1-mile fun run. So you can imagine all the volunteers we need and all the other community partners we need to pull that off, because it's kind of like herding cats. About 200 kids at a time run in heats. And then they also are learning, we call it Run the World Drug-Free. And they learn also about all different cultures and being tolerant of each other, because that's another piece. There's lots of strategies that lead to a drug-free kid. And one of them is being able to interact in the world peacefully. So we try to weave in all those things, including the social norming, so that they hear from a very young age, and the parents see most kids aren't using, so I'm going to hold that line for my kid. Because I think a lot of parents think, well, I did that in high school, so I can't say anything to my kid. But the truth is, most of them aren't. So let's hold the line and hold that standard for our kids.
As we may have been introduced to you via the Red Ribbon Run, something that's become more predominant within what you do is Project Prom, and that kind of goes into another time frame. But in these tough economic times, you as a nonprofit, you rely on the generosity of the folks out there that want to give back to this community and give back to the kids that are doing well and being great representatives of their age. So talk a little bit about Project Prom and how folks can help with it.
Okay, so about 14 years ago, one of our youth impact students said, hey, what if we gave away prom wear and then we could talk to them about celebratory times? Because unfortunately, we call it teen season instead of deer season. You have prom, you have graduation, a lot of things kind of clump together, summer, and then it's summer. So we really try to do one more hard prevention message to our kids that making those bad choices can make a bad nightmarish night instead of a great memory on prom. So our own kids are talking to other kids, and they're coming into the store, and I'm telling you, it looks like one of the nicest stores you've ever seen in formal wear. And we have menswear as well as women's, and they can get a free outfit, they can get shoes, they can get all the things. And our only charge to them is that they sign a pledge that they'll stay away from risky behaviors, drugs, alcohol, drinking and driving, all the things that could potentially make a nightmare, and keep themselves and their friends safe. So this year, between Project Prom, then we started getting a ton of short dresses, so we do Project Homecoming. We have given away almost 600 outfits, and we do that year in and year out. And our community is amazing in donations to us. That's one area where we don't struggle, is every single day somebody comes in our office and donates something. and we're just blown away by the generosity. Sometimes it's stuff that's been hanging in the closet for a while, and sometimes a lady will bring us a brand new dress and say, I didn't get to go to my prom, so I want somebody to get to go to theirs. And I feel like this year we're heavier than ever because I think the economy is affecting families. And I've had a mom tell me it was between a car payment and a dress for her. And they've just been so thankful and grateful.
Well, elaborate on that a little bit more, because I mean, not only are the students seeing the impact of signing the information to not partake in, but the parents are saying, hey, wow, this is a valuable resource to the community, and then the word gets out. So talk about some of the things that you might hear from other parents also.
So from a prevention standpoint, we say this project has legs, and that's because they see those social norms messages. We have them everywhere in the store, and they're pointing at it and going, oh, okay, most kids don't use. And then we give them a brochure. Here are hints and tips of how to make sure your kid is safe during prom or during homecoming. And then we also let them know that we're available if there is a problem, because we do teach classes for kids who are starting to experiment, and maybe they've gotten a citation from law enforcement. Right now, vaping, unfortunately, is hot. You know, we did great with tobacco for years, and then they came up with something else. So we're working really hard in tandem with all of our partners in the community to work on the education piece, because a lot of kids think vaping isn't harmful, and that's not true.
Well, Angie, we've got just a few minutes left. What I want you to do is inspire folks to not only give to the prom, Project Prom, but also of their resources to help fund these great programs. And if they can't, find some way to get involved with you, find some way to invest back into these children.
Okay. It's our 40th anniversary, so we're running a drive right now. You can go on to our website and just donate $40 a month. That doesn't have to, you know, discount anyone. Anyone can give us a little bit, and that every little bit helps. Or if you have a community organization, we can come speak. Kiwanis, Rotary, a church, any of those places, the more we can tell people about us, the more support we can get. They can come and help us at events. We need 300 volunteers on that Red Ribbon Run Day alone. So there's just lots of ways they can connect with us. We also usually have kind of a wish list on our website and in our newsletter. So there's little things that we need that sometimes folks can help us with. So we would love to connect to anybody in any way that would work for them.
And from a person that's seen your work up close, because you bring your youth group in here, and we always have the PGTV experience, and where the kids get to come in and they talk. They do an interview. It's kind of like this show here, and they talk a little bit about what they do. And we've got a front row seat to some of the work that you do, and you should be commended on it. And we love the work that you're doing, and would like to help you in the future. So come back and see me, would you please, Angie?
Thank you. Absolutely. I'd love to.
Over the past 40 years, InnerAct Alliance has become known as Central Florida's most trusted voice in substance abuse prevention, working to keep kids safe and drug-free. Prevention education helps young people learn from the facts and skills needed to act responsibly and avoid becoming the next substance abuse statistic. Results speak for themselves in the thousands of Polk, Highland, and Hardee County students who have grown up making healthy choices because some believed that prevention could work. Now, if you need more information, look them up on the web at InnerActAlliance.org or follow them on Facebook at facebook.com/InnerActAlliance. If you enjoyed that episode of Polk Place, I invite you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, and even check out the next one.